Welcome to my video. My name is Ricky, and today I'm going to talk to you about dispositions. So in the homework, there are really 5 questions. It says 4, but I'm going to break it down into 5 questions. So I'm just going to start with the first and make my way down. So the first question, it says, what dispositions do you possess that you think will make you a successful teacher? So in regards to the reading, I really believe that I have high expectations, fairness, curiosity, and honesty. I've already been a teacher for about 3 years working over in China, and I had some good experiences and some bad experiences. But what it all came down to was the way that I was preparing for my class and the way that I was holding my class accountable, and with the high expectations that I was able to set after a few years, it really made my job and the students' life a lot easier inside and outside the classroom. So, in my own words, so not using the direct words from the text, I believe that I'm genuine, pretty straightforward, and very approachable. So that's all I'm going to say on that. Number 2, it says, what dispositions do you need to work on before you enter the classroom as a first-year teacher? And provide some examples. So for me, I know that my high standards are something that I continue to have to work on because it's very important to stay consistent and to preach what I teach. So as a teacher, I always try to stay as consistent as possible with what I say and what I do, and to do what I say and do. Because if you don't do it, the students won't do it. For curiosity, I think that's another important disposition to have. And you develop curiosity in a classroom, at least I develop curiosity in a classroom, through a lot of student involvement. So I plan to get my students very active. In school, my favorite classes were always the active ones. And so as a teacher, I'm going to do what I think is best, which would be to get them involved. Also, dedication. That's another one. And you show dedication, and you do that through solid lesson planning and prompt grading. My first year as a teacher, I wasn't that great at that. And the students would come to me and they would actually ask for their assignments back. And the students are relying on your response so that they can move forward with their learning. So as a teacher, you can show a lot of dedication by being there and doing what you're supposed to do on time. So number 3, how do the dispositions demonstrate your ability to understand other cultures, genders, and learning differences to build stronger relationships with students and families? So this is the question that I broke up into 2. So how do the dispositions demonstrate your ability to understand these? Well, fairness is a good example. You have to be able to understand the position that somebody's coming from. If that's their culture, the way that they grew up, if they're a boy or a girl, or transgendered. These are just things that you have to be aware of, and you have to treat people fairly, regardless of where they came from. And the next one would be compassion. And with this, it's very similar to fairness, but you have to be able to make exceptions in given situations, and without understanding where the student's coming from, you never will really be able to react properly. So you have to really have a lot of compassion for the student, whether you're a boy. I know in my situation, I had a couple times where a female student would ask to go to the bathroom, and I don't necessarily allow that without a reason all the time. And there's instances that you really just need to make that exception and just say, all right. So number 4, how do potential bias affect teaching? So this is the second half of the question. And so for me, in my opinion, a bias can affect the fairness, compassion, the standards, pretty much every aspect of teaching and the way you should hold yourself. The bias, it creates ideas, and they make you think before you know, and often what you think is wrong. So that's my opinion on how bias can affect teaching. Number 5, the final question, is how do you anticipate using feedback from your annual performance evaluations, observations, and data on student performances to adjust your dispositions and teaching practices to benefit learning? It's a long question, but Basically you just have to take everything that you're given. You have to take what you've learned and consistently, reevaluate yourself and say, am I doing the best job that I can be doing? And if you are, well, you're probably wrong. There's probably something that you can always work on. So as a teacher, I would anticipate that I would use these by implementing these, evaluations and observations by, you know, into my classroom. So that's my video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, you can, write me in the class wall. See you soon. Bye.